My age and my size made me look like a pillar amongst my little companions. I was anxious to get out of that situation. After 2 months of the 6th class, I was at its head. I took an examination and moved up to the 5th class. I went gladly to my new class because of my classmates were more my size and my teacher was the beloved Father Willem Bertin. After 2 more months, I led the class again and my exception was allowed to take another examination and so was promoted to the 4th class, which is equivalent to the 2nd year of gymnasium.
Having made up my mind to enter the seminary, I took the prescribed examination. I prepared carefully for that most important day because I was convinced that one's eternal salvation or eternal perdition ordinarily depends on the choice of a state in life. I asked my friends to pray for me. I made a novena, and on the feast of Saint Michael, October 1834, I approached the Holy Sacraments. Before the solemn high mass, Dr. Zinzano, the provost and vicar foreign of my region, blessed my cassock and tested me as a cleric.
We could only receive Holy Communion, however, on Sundays and the special feast. We did receive communion sometimes on weekdays, but doing so meant that we had to act contrary to obedience. It was necessary to slip out, usually at breakfast time, to St. Philip's Church next door, receive Holy Communion, and then join our companions as they were going into the study hall or to class. This infraction of the timetable was prohibited, but the superiors gave tacit consent to it since they knew it was going on and sometimes observed it without saying anything to the contrary. In this way, I was able to receive Holy Communion much more frequently, and I can rightly say it was the most efficacious support of my vocation. This defect of piety was corrected when, through an order of Archbishop Gastaldi, things were arranged so as to permit daily communion, provided one is prepared.
This marvelous companion was my fortune. He could, as the occasion demanded, advise me, correct me, and cheer me up, but all with such charm and charity that I even welcomed his admonitions and looked for them. I dealt familiarly with him, and I was naturally led to follow his example. Although I was 1,000 miles behind him in virtue, if I was not ruined by dissipation, but grew in my vocation, truly I remain in his debt above all. In one thing alone, I did not even try to emulate him, and that was in mortification. He was a young man of 19, yet he fasted rigorously for the whole of Lent, and at other times laid down by the church. In honor of the Blessed Virgin, he fasted every Saturday. Often he went without breakfast, and sometimes his dinner consisted of bread and water. He put up with insults and affronts without the least sign of annoyance. When I saw how faithful he was in even the slightest demands of study and piety, I was filled with admiration. I regarded my companion as an ideal friend, a model of virtue for any seminarian.